Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're taking a look at another batch of vintage Penguin books, get them cleaned and tidied and ready to go back into my collection. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay then, so we're starting off with Love for Lydia, H.E. Bates. This is Penguin 1165 in the main series. Not on the face of it the best of copies, but it's sort of gonna do. 1956, just so we got an idea of the dates on these. This one's got quite a big spine roll actually. I don't know if you can see it, but it is quite a big spine roll. Bit of a tricky one to do on an old Penguin, particularly one that's 70 years old almost, so I won't go to town on that. I'll probably just wait till a better one comes along, but it's not in terrible condition. Here's the same book, but a slightly later copy with a different just jacket. This is a 1960s one here. And some of these we will be able to polish, like that one I'll be able to give a little bit of a polish to. All of them are going to need brushing, and any other little fixes we'll do as we go through them. We got a few piles here. Look at this. Look, it's just gonna... It's just come off again. Look at that. Didn't take a lot, did it? So not the greatest condition copy, this one. Unfortunately. Yeah, the cover's absolutely... It's really quite grubby, isn't it, that? It's a shame. Quite a grubby, fingerprinty cover, that, But for the time being it will do. But I will pop this one on the first of probably many to go on my upgrade list. So this is Penguin 1167. My name is Michael Sibley and it's John Bingham. So I'm not going to put the glue on there. I'm going to put the glue on the actual spine. It will just be easier to apply this way round, I think. There we are. I think that's enough. Yeah, a bit of a dirty copy, really, that one. But I'll pop him on the upgrade list. It's probably one of the ones, as I've said in the past with these ones, where we're at now with my Penguin collection, in most cases, but not quite all, but in most cases, these are copies that have been picked up out in the wild. They're not really ones that have come from collectors. They're not books that have come from dealers. These are very much copies that have been bought, they've been read, they may have been reread, and they've been through maybe the charity shops. I might pick them up at jumble sales and places like that. And consequently, the books are second-hand. It's no other way around it. It's the sort of books which, on the whole, the books that we're looking at here, even if it's a collectible author like Wodehouse here, they're worth no more than £3 to £5 a pop, I wouldn't have thought. This one's got a bit of a pencil on the inside cover, which is quite an awkward place to pop it, but thankfully it's coming off all right. I do like P.G. Wodehouse. I don't like these Penguin covers, these 50s and 60s ones where they're like little like line illustrations, and we'll have a look in just a sec. They're amongst my worst Wodehouse jackets in actual fact. Yeah, those ones there. That's actually not too bad a one as they go, but still not the greatest. So, it is what it is, Nothing taken away from Wodehouse as an author. I think he's fantastic. And I really, really like reading him. Look, I've just read what that says. Look, it says 26th of the 4th, 89, duplicate. Well, we'll take away that because it's not a duplicate for me. But I haven't quite got all of P.G. Wodehouse in vintage Penguin, but I'm only missing a real handful, and Penguin published an awful lot. The editions I most like these days are the ones published by Everyman in hardback. They are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and they've done the whole lot now. So his entire output has been reprinted in these lovely hardback editions, and they're the ones that I really most like out of all of them. And they're in print now, so you can get them. They are unfortunately about £10 each from places like Amazon. Sometimes they're even a little bit more. So that's unfortunate, but if you ask me, they're the best copies out there. Okay. Now, the last video you may remember was cleaning the first of my Pelican books. Boy, oh boy, was that a messy job. And I thought the next video we had to do was pan giants, or pans anyway, of some sort. Maybe not the giants, but some more pans. But then I realised the next vintage series we haven't done is just normal penguins, so that's why we're back doing these. And we're still not quite, if you can believe it, this is like part 17 or something. We're still not quite halfway through my main series books, but I believe the later ones won't need quite as much work. That one's very, very tatty, so there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, well read, shall we say. So I'm going to put it on the upgrade list. So Penguin 1174, Carry On Jeeves, PG Wodehouse, upgrade. And I, when I do edit these videos, I have my upgrade list open on the computer. Then I just add books that I shout out, basically, so I know which ones to add to it. And it seems quite a good way of doing it. It's meant that the upgrade list is massively expanded, but at the same time, I just wouldn't know, you know. I'm going to put a slither of glue down that crack there. As I said, this is one of the ways I'm able to keep on track of my collection on top of it, is by filming these videos and making notes as I go along, really. So, as I mentioned last week, I've recently sold my Star Wars, part of my Star Wars collection, vintage. I definitely am enjoying the room it's made, although it hasn't made anything like as much room as I was hoping. But it does mean it has freed up a bit of space where I can move some hardbacks to. And by moving those hardbacks out, it means I've then got room to expand some paperbacks. So it's going to be a bit of a shunting session. I might, 150, I might actually start filming it. It might be quite interesting, I don't know. People do enjoy those sorts of videos where I'm sorting my collection. Of course, it's only going to be semi-temporary, perhaps until as early as next year, when we're hoping to, at some point, potentially move house, if we can find the right property and sell our place as well. Selected essays, excellent stuff. We like George Orwell. Really, really like old Arthur Blair. Which ones are in here? Yeah, just got it, shooting an elephant. Oh, what story that is. And there's the first of a few we've got today, which has got one of those covers designed by Abraham Games. There was a whole series of these that were put out by Penguin with these coloured jackets. In a way, it was a bit of a response to Pan Books, who were doing very, very well at the time, and Penguin wanted to capture a little bit of that market, so they did it as a bit of an experiment, and they did it in their own particular style, which I don't think is bad at all, but at the same point, it did remain an experiment and never really took off. So there you go. There's another one here, quite low grade. This is an odd Western, which were all the rage at the time. These were on, the Westerns were big on TV, and consequently it spilled over into fiction form. There was lots and lots of westerns for sale. So that's that first little wedge there. So I'm going to give them a brush next. Now, unlike last time where they were really, really awful, this time we've not got too much to worry about. Nothing horrifically bad like we had last time. Honestly, I couldn't believe the dust I'd generated. So today, before we got started, I did actually hoover the studio. I'd given everything a good dust off the other day, and today I gave it all a good hoover. So I'm hoping these don't generate too much dust, but it is almost inevitable, isn't it? Lovely. Yeah, not quite as much dust today, thankfully. Okay. Now, a couple of these, you can actually have a bit of a wipe down with the polish. Not lots, but a little bit. So, those two can't. That one can. So, just get my polish here. Spray it directly into the cloth, give it some polish on there, and just give these the old once over. And it's quite dirty to begin with. Yeah, even my polish is not helping there. It's just a beaten up old copy, really. These are all fine. It's just the games covers now, in fact, which is this one. These are a bit more collectible nowadays. Really nice copies, you know, £5 to £8 each. I have seen certain ones, which I think is scarce in high grade, go for as much as 15, which is, you know, much more than I would pay for one, really. Because I've almost got them all. I think I'm only missing maybe 2, but there's definitely, you know, like the Song of the Whip here. Definitely prefer it if I had a better condition copy, but I know one will turn up, so it's no great shakes. But I did have a few spares which I sold on to another collector who's putting a run of these together, and he was very grateful as well, so it's all good. Alright, there we are. So that's the first pile anyway. That was actually the shortest pile in actual fact. But it's a good little start. Right, now we've got a couple more of these games covers. Another one by Evan Evans. Look at this. Quite a few marks inside here. It's only pencil. August 82. That's possibly when it was last read. Then 288 by the look of it. So maybe it was read twice. And then look at that, 757, which is probably when it was bought. And a little 2 and 6. So loads of pencil marks in that particular one, but we got them all. And that's all that matters. Here's another nice one. This would have been one of the ones that would generally sell for a few pounds more than regular. The game's cover to Murder is Easy, which is also the first printing of Murder is Easy. So it's Agatha Christie. It's a slightly more unusual one, so it's worth an extra £1 or £2, as you might expect, with the Queen of Crime. Spanish Raggle Taggle. Okay. Hillary Queen. Greek coffin mystery. See, some of those, like this has got the shiny cover, so you can have a white. We're in a sort of a transitional period with the penguins here, so some of them we can give a little wipe over to with the polish. Others we just need to leave them as is, because it'll actually be worse for them. So I'll be quite selective with what we polish and what we don't. It is good that I'm so near finishing the first 1,000 now, just the one book away as we film this, and hopefully a copy will turn up soon enough. It'll come my way and I'll get lucky enough to get the opportunity to actually buy it, and then I'll earnestly start on the second 1,000 then. I would like to get the 3,000 pre-ISBN if I get a chance. It's a big task, but at least I know that all the expensive ones will be out of the way, and it'll just be a case of upgrading some of my earlier ones. That's really nice, that one. Upgrading some of my earlier ones and finding some of the more obscure ones. This is one of those ones that I've seen as high as £15. I'm not sure why it goes for such a high price, but it's a nice one. I think it might be scarce. This is another one, and you can understand why with this one, because it's got quite the cover is so dark, the slightest little mark and it leaves it. So really high grade copies, I imagine, are quite scarce, so I wouldn't mind getting a better one of this, but you know, it is what it is ultimately. Like all my penguins, it's nice to have just one, even if the copy is low grade, because I always think, even if it's a filling copy, a filler, I can always find another one down the line, because I'm never off duty, and by doing my videos like this I know which ones I need better copies of, This one's a bit toned, sadly, but it's one of the cartoon books. Possibly even the first one, actually. Peter Arno, Penguin Peter Arno. Don't know. Don't think it's that scarce to find or anything, The Night Life of the Gods, a magical frolic by Thorne Smith. Okay. Lovely. Here's another games one, Whiskey Galore. Obviously, Abraham Games only did a few of the covers, but he was in overall artistic charge of the series. This one, the cover was by Edwin Tatum. It wasn't actually Games himself who drew them all, or painted them all, I should say. Maigret. Yeah, Maigret is one of those authors. Simonon, rather, is one of those authors where when the books turn up, they often are in a bit of a state. That one's, compared to a lot of what we've seen today, borderline upgrade, really. But, what can you do, eh? This is a nice one. Really like that jacket. It's quite a nice copy of this one, actually. As games covers goes, it's not a bad one. Yeah, that's actually really nice. Really pleased with that one. Overloaded Ark. Don't mind Jared Durrell either. Great naturalist. Don't know if we'll see my favourite one by him, which is My Family and Other Animals. Just really great. Also done in the cerise colours of the travel and adventure. Another couple of games covers here, Errol Stanley. Little £3 inside there. We've had a bit of rubbing out to do today, haven't we? Copy of the Big Heat here, William P. McGivern. Another one that I suspect is probably quite scarce, but I'm just not sure what's what with these. The June 1980 inside. The Mask of Glass, Holly Roth. There we are, so that's that pile. Now, the last pile's actually a bit bigger. It's just how they've come through the old system. But let's give these a brush down. Quite a bit of dust coming off these, more than I was expecting. nice mess here. Right. Okay. Now, once again, some of these we can give a little brush to. Turn these upside down. So these ones can be polished. Little mark on the back there, but nothing more I can do with that one. I'm not sure it's getting much off these, but I think it is getting a little bit off them. You know, just that few little odd fingerprints and things like that. When you rub the cloth over it, when it's got a little bit of Mr. Sheen in it, does make quite a difference, you know. But they're not taking much cleaning, just a cursory once over really, aren't they? Nothing too heavy here. This one, it's so tanned. I think it must have just been in the home of a smoker historically, you know, and it's just a real tanned one. So I think on reflection, I'm going to put this one on the wants list as well because it is so tanned. So that's Penguin 1217, The Penguin, Peter Arno. I quite like the cartoon books because I generally like cartoon books, but that one is a bit too far gone, sadly. So I don't think it's going to hurt getting an upgrade on that one, and it won't be expensive either. Just be a couple of quid maybe. So that we can live with, I think. So next week, definitely it will be pans. That much is for sure. So we've got a bit of a rotation going on. We've got Vintage Pan working our way through the collection. Vintage Penguins, which is what obviously we're doing today, working our way through the collection. Modern Hardbacks, of which I reckon there's about 3 more videos of those to go. And we've also got, just as of last week, started the Vintage Pelicans, so that's going to be a few videos going through those. So that's what we've got on the channel at the moment, but I am going to start mixing it in with some toy videos. So we have got, I'm not sure how to do it, but I want to start moving on some of my Simpsons collections, but I'm going to have to do it very much piecemeal because there's so much involved packing it and sending it and things like that, so I can't be overwhelmed doing loads and loads of complicated parcels. It's not like books where you can just slip them into a mailer, sadly. So consequently I need to take it nice and steady, so I will do like one batch of Simpsons stuff, for example, or old Star Wars stuff, and that'll be it, and then I'll give it a break and we'll be back to books again. But just to let you know, the odd merchandise cleaning video is going to creep in because it does all need cleaning before I can sell it, and I don't think it's going to hurt. A bit of variety doesn't hurt anyone, does it? And it'd be quite fun to see something a bit different, perhaps. So the first one of those is going to creep in the new year, I would expect. There we are. So that was pile number 2, and now we just get this last batch together. Right, another games cover. We're being treated to them today. This was obviously the period, wasn't it? So Venture to the Interior. So it's one I upgraded fairly recently, so I'm not surprised to see that one as quite a nice copy. This is one I am looking to upgrade, but typical Earl Stanley Gardner, you see, they're just not around in nice condition. And that's only because, a bit like the Simonons, they've just been read a lot. Read and reread, I should say, so that's what makes them harder to find today in nice condition. It is as simple as that, so you really need to get lucky and perhaps find a collection from a crime aficionado. Pretty nice. It's much better than average John Dickson Carr there. Another Earl Stanley. And some of these I have had 3 or 4 times, and these, amazingly, are still the best copies that I've ever been able to track down, which is interesting. It just sort of shows, you know. Quite famous one here, Catcher in the Rye. The Catcher in the Rye. First Penguin printing of this, I believe. Yeah, 1958. That's quite a little bit more expensive than usual Penguin book. You know, probably about 10 or something like that. Not crazy money. Thing is, you know, you pay $8.99 or $9.99 for that as a book nowadays, wouldn't you? Brand new. So, you know, I'd much rather have a nice early Penguin edition, wouldn't you? Although the Penguin Modern Classic is very, very nice, and it's one of my favourite imprints of all, is the Penguin Modern Classic. So, well, so far no big repair jobs, except a bit of pencil and stuff, a little bit of regluing, one detached spine only today, which was good. Oh blimey, yeah, I've already had this one prepared. The controversial one. So, it's funny, but there are editions of this book by Collins, Penguin and Fontana. But this is the first Penguin, 1958. Just imagine if it had been chosen to be a games cover instead of Murder is Easy. JMR, slight change in cover style here. I imagine this one got published later. That's the reprint in actual fact. So Penguin 1261 is just a reprint. I must make sure I haven't got that as part of my saying I've got it when it's just the reprint of that one. Look at that, it's been Tippexed over that. Apart from that, it's alright. Yeah, that's okay. I have 2 piles here because it's a slightly longer one. Another very, very nice games cover. Once again, one that I was able to upgrade fairly recently. Very, very faint 10p in there. I'm rubbing it doesn't seem to be having much impact. It is a little bit better. The paper seems really coarse, which is unusual for some reason. No, I got it. There we are. I can't see the 10p there now. That's a really nice copy of that. It looks like a cover by Edward Ardisoni. Shall we see if it says? Well, illustrated by Edward Ardisoni inside. It's his style, isn't it? It must be. That must be an Ardisoni cover. So, how rather lovely is that? Another Gerald Durrell, the Buffett Beagles. He's very good. Don't mind Durrell at all. Another Western. Once again, bit of a stay, I'm afraid. The big range. Look at the stay of it. Yeah, definitely. If it's not already, it's one on my upgrade list. I see, in actual fact, the top of the spine needs regluing there. So we just grab these here and leave that there a moment. Just in there, it's coming away. So even though it's a tatty old copy, I don't want that getting any worse, because when I've tracked down an upgrade, someone may well want this one, being a games cover, you see. So don't want it going to waste. But yeah, not great, I'm afraid, that one, but that's how the cookie crumbles. that one a long time. Wodehouse again. It's again not the greatest of conditions, but just about on the borderline to keep for now. Is that correct? I hope it didn't say reprint. Yeah, first. Still 1958. These are all been sort of 57, 58, haven't they? Uneasy Money. Duplicate. 30th of May, 1987. Duplicate. Okay. Once again, it's not a duplicate for me, so I should be happy to have it. I do vaguely remember, because this is the second one, this must have come from the same collection. I do vaguely remember when I was trying to track down all the P.G. Wodehouses a few years back, that I bought a few little job lots, all with the books all together, off eBay, and they weren't expensive like that, but a couple of them were actually duplicates to me, but evidently not that one. That's another really, really nice games cover. Another Western. This was another one which I had as an upgrade. This one's looking a little bit the worse for wear. Yeah, blimey. Cover almost come off completely. It's not going to come off, but it is going to need re-gluing. Let's just flick through it. Yeah. I thought it looked a bit on the rough side. Oh dear, we've not got a lot of glue left either. We've got enough for this. I hope. Is it going to go up? It's not, so it's going to be a smear job, I'm afraid, guys. Which is not perfect, but we're going to just have to live with it, I'm afraid, because we're at the end of the glue. The Pritt stick is no more, well, almost gone. Almost. Oh. There we are. Just one little bit in the middle now. And we'll be fully catered for. There we are. But yeah, I'll still pop him on the wants list, the upgrade list rather, because it's a low grade copy. So Penguin 281, the Scarlet Sword, H.E. Bates. Better copy required, governor. Absolutely. In there on borrowed time. Right, not many to go now. This is another lovely one. Another games cover, the last one we're going to see today. But it's been a bit of a showcase for those ones, isn't it? Private view, it is. Harry Queen. £2 inside. We've had a fair few which have needed pricing rubbing out, but that's thankfully one of the easiest jobs we can do. And the last one here is £12.98, The Secret Vanguard. Michael Innes again. The last unique book we're going to see today. Good stuff. Right, now we need to get these all brushed off, so we can do that. now that we've done all the repairing that we can do. The brush off is next. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to keep these in a couple of piles just so we don't have too many accidents. Stick those over there for now. Main thing is we're keeping them all in order. These just don't seem that dusty compared to what we had last week with the much earlier Pelican books. They were agony. Okay. It's often like a game of Jenga around here, you know. These book videos. I said I always limit it to one box, you know, one comic box of titles to bring down, but like the next Pelican one, because there's so many very thin wartime ones, that's going to mean that next Pelican one's a long video. Could be as long as 2 hours. Because the books are very, very thin. And because they're wartime, I think they're going to need a lot of repairs. So we're just going to have to live with that for now. There we are. Now we just need to give these this last lot a bit of a polish for the ones that need it, of course. So, in actual fact, we're over here first of all, which is number 1238. It's the next one as we approach these. And these shouldn't take too much time, and then we'll be all done for this week. Not quite as messy a job as some we've had recently, so phew-wee. It's got a bit dirty, so let's move it along a bit. anything with that. Early Penguin play before the Penguin Plays got their own series. Quite nice. Once again, can't do anything with that. Okay. Well, I'm filming this one on a Friday afternoon, actually. So I'm about a week ahead again on where we're at, because I've had so much going on. I got a little bit behind with some of my videos, and I don't like to miss a vid if I can help it. And it's absolutely freezing here in the UK, where I'm going through a cold snap. And as you know, I film these videos in my studio, which is in the middle of the garden. So there's no heating in here. And it is quite a small space, so it doesn't exactly need heating per se. But I have noticed, even though I've been fairly physical and I've been cleaning the books and polishing them here and what have you, it's really cold. It is really cold. So there you go. It's just a small sacrifice that I'm prepared to make for my viewers, of course, you know. So there you go. I know you appreciate it. One thing that did get mentioned fairly recently was how someone had said they stopped watching one of the videos halfway through simply because they found the adverts too intrusive. Now, I have no... YouTube does give you the power to place the adverts yourself, but I don't do that. I know some people have done it, and some YouTubers have put their own adverts in, and they've really saturated their videos with adverts, because you're allowed to do that if you want to. I don't do that. I just let YouTube place the adverts themselves automatically at points that they see fit. So there's not loads of adverts going in, but there are some adverts going in, if that makes sense. But of course, I said to the chap who left the comment, I said, well, look, I understand where you're coming from, but if you watch a lot of this sort of content or ASMR content, you're going to want to have a YouTube subscription, YouTube Premium, because then you don't have any adverts at all, you know. So that is what I said to him. So I would be interested to know if my viewers here use YouTube Premium or not, really, you know. Pure curiosity more than anything else, you know. I would be very curious to know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed it and made it to the end. It's been a nice batch of books again, in my opinion, for us to enjoy. Didn't quite get to an hour this time. It was about 50 minutes or so, I think, isn't it? Maybe 55, I don't know. But a goodly selection nonetheless. But yeah, thank you for watching today. and I'll see you again in a week's time. Bye.